Well, one of the things we're seeing is tax authorities are starting to really crack down on remote workers. We're seeing, for example, the New York state authorities are actually using AI to track down international remote workers, for example. And what our platform does, it allows people to assess in a matter of seconds the compliance risks of all these work from anywhere requests that are coming in and be able to understand, should you approve it, should you reject it. And what's nice about that is that it allows them to implement a work from anywhere policy to be able to attract the best talent and also retain them, because we're seeing more and more people are really requesting and demanding the ability to have some dimension of international remote work flexibility. When you look at AI, especially for example generative AI, if you're looking for ideas about a blog post or a nice image, it's wonderful because there's a wide risk of error that you can accept. And so you can maybe look for 10 images, and if one of them are good, it's great. Unfortunately, when it comes to tax and legal risks, it needs to be precise. So for us, we're very careful about the use of, for example, generative AI. So we spent the last 3 years building our own compliance engine, and that's one of the secrets of success for what's got us this far, that you can get the right answers in a matter of seconds. Well, I think one of the big things we're seeing is a transition. If you look at business travel, you look at traditional expat assignments, we're seeing that global mobility functions have got a huge increase in volume of requests, but it's a different type of mobility. It's more short-term workation, work from anywhere requests, and our tool allows them to be able to elevate the function of global mobility to be a bit more strategic, to be able to offer an employee benefit that, for example, if you look at Spotify, they reduced their employee attrition rate by 15% when they offered this particular employee benefit. So our tool allows them to be able to offer this dynamic employee benefit, whilst of course keeping an eye on the tax and legal risks and also reducing the costs of going to external providers. What's very special about events like this is that, yes, it's a moment to celebrate the companies that do well, but it's as much, if not even more so, about connection and community. Because for me, if you look at remote work, I love the flexibility of being able to work anywhere, but I think those moments of connection in the office sometimes or at work gatherings are so important. And for events like this, for me, it's a way of being able to connect with those partners, those customers we work with, and also those mentors and the wider community that have been so good to us over the last couple of years. For us, it would mean the absolute world to us because it's an inflection point for us over the last year that we came to the world with a different type of solution, something that a lot of people at the time said, is the world going to have a lot of work from anywhere requests? Thankfully, according to a Mercer survey, 78% of companies are doing this and they're going to see continued growth. So it was a bold bet what we did when we were building this many years ago, but thankfully we've been proven right. I think for me, this would be a wonderful recognition of the wider community that have supported us along the journey. And for us, it would be a hugely proud moment to recognize this moment that have gotten this far, and again, for all the support of the wider community. Well, so what you find is the definitions are shifting and there's a merging of different types of moves to a degree. And so if you're business travel, in the business travel industry, you might call it extended business travel. Some people, for example, in Europe call it workations. Outside of Europe, they call it work from anywhere. And so what we're seeing is that people ultimately, in a lot of cases, it's very often employee driven, that maybe if they're on a business trip, they want to extend it by a couple of days or weeks. Sometimes it might be somebody who wants to go and maybe work remotely to be able to be there for a sick parent or a relative, for example. In other cases, it might be somebody who might have maybe a kid who's working in, say, in a different country and they want to go and spend some time with them, for example. There's various different reasons for this. It's more than just a laptop by the beach. In many cases, it's to spend time with family and being able to use the flexibility that remote work offers to be able to take advantage of that in an international context.